welcome back to my channel. Following on from my university entrance portfolio 3 years ago, today I've invited my best friend onto this channel to share his amazing, fascinating, and out-of-the-world portfolio, and also to share some insightful advice. This is a series that I'm putting together for prospective students who want to study at the University of Manchester. So if you're interested, I've put the link to the playlist down in the description box below. Also, if you like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out. A disclaimer before we go on to the portfolio. As we all know, art is a very subjective thing, so portfolios come in all shapes and forms. This means that your portfolio doesn't have to look like anybody else's portfolio, and so this video is just here to provide an idea for reference or just purely for entertainment purposes. So this is Kingsley. He's my best friend. We went to architecture school together and we've known each other since forever. Before we dive right into the portfolio, a little bit of background information. So Kingsley, what universities did you apply to?
So for the UK ones, I applied to UCL Bartlett, Manchester School of Architecture, Sheffield, Oxford Brookes University, and Edinburgh.
Okay, which of these universities did you receive offers from and what were your requirements?
So I received offer from Manchester, Edinburgh, and Oxford Brookes. So for the Oxford Brookes one, I think it's BBB, but if I put it in the first choice, it's unconditional. But obviously, I prefer Manchester. So I think the Manchester offer is AAA,
right?
And Edinburgh is the same.
Right. Okay. So when you were putting together your portfolio, what was the core message that you wanted your portfolio to deliver?
I think the core message is about my creative mindset and also some of my interpretation of our environment in 3D, I think, because the portfolio is 2D, right? But you need to present them in a very three-dimensional, very well-rounded way to let people know more about you.
Okay, so moving on to an advised session now.
Yes.
So when we were applying to architecture school, we had no idea what a portfolio should look like. How did you figure it out in the end? Did you look at resources? Did you reach out to some people? So how did you cope with that?
Well, now you have this video, so this is very good. Yeah, it's very nice. But
I think YouTube is definitely a good way to
definitely.
Yeah,
I think I started on YouTube as well. I have graduate friend from high school who went to an architectural school, so I just send text messages to him you give me some advice. He actually advised me to put more architectural pieces, 3D pieces. That's why what you can see now is all architectural urban thing. And then, but it's definitely very nice to reach out to some of the seniors. Sometimes you can also ask your teachers from an ambition point of view, right? Or from your art teacher. I think that would be very helpful because if someone who's not from the industry and understand what you're trying to say, I think that's more, that tells something.
And it can provide new insights as well.
Yeah, send messages to people on Instagram. Yeah, trust me, they are very, very kind to help. Don't forget to, ask on student forums. I think I asked about it as well. No matter is about the school, what I can get from the school, is the school good, or some portfolio advice, that they are very helpful to help.
So it's actually don't be shy, just reach out.
Yes.
Another question. Many people think that because it's an application for an architecture school, so it's very important for them to include 3D models or digital models. So do you think this is absolutely necessary?
To be honest, I don't think you really need that skill. As you can see, I don't have any pieces technical drawings, some rendering. It's just Legos and stuff. Yeah. But some of my mates, before they get into architectural school, they already did architectural foundation. They know how to draw all the technical drawings, plans and stuff. And also some of them may actually intern in an architectural practice as well.
Yeah.
And I don't have any kind of experience.
Same.
And I didn't study art as well in my high school. We both study science subjects. Yeah, so it's totally different from what we study. In your portfolio, it's not about those skills. I think to a certain amount, those skills do matter. But it's going back to the creativity mindset, personal background, what's important to you, what architecture matters to you. Because they wouldn't want someone who studied architecture and then when they come out of it and they're what kind of architect do you want to be? I don't know. That's also the driving force to keep you improving throughout the years and keep you going on and on with your architectural career.
Okay.
Yeah.
So another question. When we were putting together a portfolio, I know like now that we're in architecture school,
Yes.
usually for presentation, we would use InDesign. But for students who maybe do not have access to these kind of software, what do you recommend them to use, or what did you use?
The easiest thing is PowerPoint.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I actually did all these pieces in PowerPoint, and then for the photos editing, I did them on my phone. Before getting into university, I never used Photoshop before, never used Illustrator, InDesign, any kind of these softwares, but I like editing photos on my phone a lot. And also, obviously, like when you do presentations at school, you need PowerPoints. Just use something that you're familiar with. Don't risk at all, because I don't think it's worth the time to learn a new software.
Especially when you're handling A levels and so many other
exactly.
things.
There's some kind of like new websites that may help you compiling your portfolio, like Canvas and stuff. Because the simpler you have for your portfolio is actually highlighting your piece. That it wouldn't distract your work from the layout. It's more about like how you present yourself and what they can get from you. And as long as you can get this together, no matter what software you use, I think you can still be a very nice candidate.
Okay. Yeah. Now we're going to go into the portfolio, the moment that you've all been waiting for. So Kingsley, if you do us the honor of walking us through your portfolio, maybe giving a little bit of information about the sizes of the art and like the details behind why you chose this art piece to put in your portfolio.
Looking back at this portfolio, I don't think it's anywhere near perfect, but I think the core message is about showing how I put this work together back then and why I picked these pieces, and also give some comments like after being in this academia for like 5 years now, like what pieces I may not put or what pieces I would want to put more in this portfolio.
Definitely.
If you go into the table of contents, as you can see, I categorized them into 3 different directions in this portfolio. So I think it's a clear way to present yourself, as in like categorizing them so the tutors can be easier to follow. The first piece is an oil painting. It is 60 by 50 centimeters. The idea of this piece is more about showing the different types of architecture in my hometown, Macau. So you can see casinos in the background and some of the residential buildings in the front. For this piece, I particularly put the progress images on the right-hand side. You can see that like when you present a drawing, it's never about just the final piece, but the details and also like the progress you put all these work together. So for the second piece is also an oil painting in the same size. I play with the abstract forms of the residential buildings in Macau. They are very congested. Sometimes I feel like people living there can have depression. I use sort of like darker colors, but within these very congested, crowded living spaces, there are like splashes of vibrant colors, because we shouldn't let the environment to change our creative mind. Next to it, of course, I put some of my reference images that I took in my daily life as like a reference if some people may not know about this balcony type. I think it's a very special architectural feature in Macau as well. The next one, I think I play with the work a little bit, because I kind of draw like greeneries and plants in the front to tell the idea of forest. And in the background is the concrete forest. Like when you peek through the gap between these plants, and there's the concrete buildings in the background, the cityscape. If you look into the progress drawing, as you can see, it actually starts with a portrait. But during the process, I did this piece. I didn't feel like drawing a portrait anymore, so I kind of changed it, and then I want to keep the greeneries, but I don't want to keep the lady anymore. So this kind of creative process is about like to show that like maybe sometimes your creative mind changes when you continue to work on a piece, but it doesn't mean that change is a bad thing. So the next piece is charcoal drawing on, I think, an A3. I particularly like this piece because as you can see in the title, it's about like past, present, and future. I picked charcoal pencil to finish this piece because they have that kind of like detail, and then when you do shading and stuff, it actually adds depth and a perspective to your drawing. As you can tell in the title, it's about memories. So I referenced a lot of like historical images of an abandoned shipyard in Macau, and so memories. So I directly use like a brain to represent the kind of core memory in our brain. And then the hands are kind of like replacing these elements of this shipyard into a very commercialized world. I think it's more about raising that social issues like in urban development. And I also play with a little bit of Chinese characters in background because that's kind of like my heritage, my culture. I think this piece definitely has some like a special place in my heart. Jumping into the next one, we start to look at the 3D works. So I like Lego a lot since I was small. So like you like Minecraft, Legos, or like SimCity. This one is an individual work. I started off with sketching on a paper and then try to make these pieces into different modules and stuff. And then I put it in a software to just build it and do the rendering. Because I didn't know any like building software back then. With this modeling software that I knew, I am able to demonstrate the kind of digital building modeling. So I think it's not about the tree houses you can see in this piece. It's about showing my creativity and my kind of my skill as well. But the next one is actually a group work. So my friends and I did it for a competition, a Lego competition. Yes, it's Lego again. You know, in your portfolio, it's very important to show collaborative work, group work, and because in architecture, you're never working alone. You always work with someone, learn from someone. I'm very proud of this piece actually. And then we also like order these pieces and build it physically to submit for the competition. So the idea that you turn something in your mind or in your software into real life is also very similar to your future architectural experience. And the next one is actually a concept design. I don't know what I did with this one actually, like because looking back at it, I don't think it's a very convincing design. It's more about demonstrating my 3D modeling skills. And also you can see how I started sketching the ideas out on the paper. I wouldn't consider it a very, judging from an architectural student perspective, I wouldn't consider it a very successful design. I kind of hate it.
But back then it shows it's like you can work with like a weird side shape.
And also like considering
like a concept into realization.
Considering the program as well and everything. I think to a certain amount this piece may help like actually helps a little bit. But I just don't like it personally at all now. So the next one is 3D printing work. It's a group work as well. In this piece, because 3D modeling is something that you may encounter when you're doing physical model in architectural school. So I think that's a very, very effective way to show like, oh, I like and also I know how to do 3D modeling and stuff. And to put something into 3D and into real life. In the next piece, we jump into another section now. These pieces are about like the flashes in my life, like some of them like hand sketches with watercolor on A3, A2. Oh no, sorry, no, A4. I think these pieces are more like showcasing my skills, my hand sketching skills, and they are all really like, sketches in my life and places I travel to, or some of them are from images that my art teacher travels to, and she just introduced them to me, and I find a connection with these images. So I decided to practice my skills and also like sketch them out. It's about pinpointing what matters to you in a sketch or in a feature in an environment. So and then in that process, that may show like what's more like attractive to you, what catches your eyeballs more. So it's also a very critical thinking process as well. And then the next one is a very interesting one. This one is called My Weekend. I did this task for Bartlett. So back then I have this they have this assessment, which is like you need to finish 5 pieces in 1 minute, in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and also 30 minutes and 1 hour. So they want to see how you respond to a piece like very quickly or like over time, like how you modify and perfect the piece. So I use ink and charcoal for that series, but I just pick one of them and then turn the rest into a series, as you can see in this portfolio slide. I think it's very interesting when you try to decide what matters to you in your daily life and then just put them down. And because that tells a lot about your background. So you can see there's like an art studio type of thing. That's my comfort zone actually. Like I have a lot of ideas and I just, whenever I go to this art studio, I feel safe and I can just freely paint everything I want. Okay, so follow up. It's some photography pieces. I actually don't know why they exist here, but I think it's about showing my perspective towards symmetry in life, and also some of the architectural structures. As you can see, there are like 4 different photography pieces. At some point in your life, you really want to show how you feel these architectural features. Because these stems from like contemporary buildings, Gothic ones, and also interior fitting as well. So it's about like what jumps to you like when you're inside the building, outside the building. And then in the end, as an exhibition experience, I actually got asked about this slide in an interview with HKU, University of Hong Kong. They just asked me like, oh, so you like going to art exhibitions? Because I also said that in my introduction. So they're like, oh, you went to art exhibitions a lot. So which one is your favorite? And which piece is your favorite? So I was like, what? And then I just shared this experience with them. Because when you're going to an art exhibition, different artists may have different concepts or messages they want to tell you. But sometimes you can agree or disagree with them. So when you share experience, share what you like or what you don't like to the tutors, I think it's a way to show your critical thinking process or your stance in some of like the social issues. I think in this portfolio it demonstrates like a wide range of my creative process, how I feel the society, the urban space that we're living in. What I like about your portfolio is that you have a lot of like personal pieces. That's something I like. As you can see, like, okay, I have some of the like urban ones, living environments, the oil painting pieces particularly, but I think they are more about just urban living environment, but less about myself, like my personal world, my emotions, more expressive stuff. I think mine are very safe in terms of like the emotional or like idea expression, just architectural concepts. So I think it's a mixture of both. It should be a mixture of both. Sometimes you also want to tell more about your personal world or like your emotions and experience, but also don't forget to show your architectural skills.
Definitely. And that's it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave comments down in the comments section box below. This is a series that I'm putting together for prospective students who want to study at the University of Manchester. So if you're interested, I did put the link to the playlist down in the description box below. And as always, if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all next time.